But WrestleMania, y'all, that was definitely the main event for a lot of people, including myself, this weekend. 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to try to go over both days as quickly as possible because I know we have a lot of stuff to get to this episode. For me personally, this was one of the best WrestleManias ever. I know that doesn't really mean months because I started watching wrestling again last year, but in doing so, that has put me down the rabbit hole of just watching old matches, going back to old pay-per-views, catching up on stuff that I missed and stuff like that. So I could definitely, and what I can consider myself as one of the best WrestleManias that I've ever seen from people online. That's all I've really been people seeing that like say it's top 5. I'm seeing people say it's top 3. I'm seeing a lot of people say it's the best ever. Regardless or not, it was a really, really awesome show. Night 1, the crowd was a little bit underwhelming. Philadelphia didn't really show up night 1. Understandably so, though. It was cold as fuck. It was like 50 degrees out. They said it felt like 40 with the wind and shit like that. It's not like football where every like, you know, there's plays going on every minute and you're kind of in it and in it and in it. When you're at a wrestling show, it's very, very slow paced. You got to like it's almost better to watch those big shows at home because you can hear the commentary. When you're at the shows, you don't hear any commentary. You just hear you're just watching them down there. You literally have no idea what's going on story-wise. You're just there to see. So I can kind of understand. And, you know, with this being, with The Rock bringing a lot of popularity to this, probably bringing most of the crowd, not most of them, but bringing a lot of the crowd there, a lot of the casual fans that, you know, that maybe wouldn't necessarily show up to a WrestleMania. This was the biggest WrestleMania numbers-wise for a reason. So a lot of new fans, a lot of casual fans, a lot of old viewers that are coming back to it, they're just tuning in again, that maybe not as invested as, like, you know, the crowd from NXT or a crowd from Chicago or a crowd from a city that they visit often. So night 1, crowd didn't show up, but it was freezing. I'll give them that. Commentary was saying that a whole bunch of times. I would say cool. Out of the 7 matches, I'd say like 4 of them really, really brought it. I love the tag team match. Shout out to R-Truth, the Immortal, getting his first tag team gold with The Miz. That was a really great match. I love the heels winning for the SmackDown side with what's his name? Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Yeah. I love them. They're 2 really great young heels that'll be good for a long time. Sami and Gunther may have had the match of the night for me. There's a lot of lore there as well. When I was digging down my rabbit hole, they go back. They go back to the Indies. They've done this dance before plenty times. The finishing move is a move that Sami Zayn hasn't pulled out since. Like the last time he faced Gunther years and years ago when Gunther was fat as fuck. So that was just that was wonderful. If you're a fan of the sport, you definitely love to see that as well. We saw Rhea Ripley retain against Becky Lynch. Yeah. I'm not sure about you, Hod, but yo, I don't get the aura of Becky Lynch. Like I don't like believe anything that she does out there.
So it's kind of you know, it's funny. It's the same for me. Some of the storylines that they kind of have been putting forth, I don't necessarily buy into, unfortunately. Yeah. And the Becky storyline was definitely one of them. I never got sold on Becky. Honestly, Becky was doing promos outside of this where she was saying like this is not going well. Like Rhea's too popular. Like she's too popular. She's
even as
supposed
a heel,
to be
she's the most popular person in the industry.
Yeah, she's not even really being played like a heel. Like honestly, when you look at what The Rock was doing, when you look at what Roman was doing, that's heel energy. What did Rhea do that was heel in nature? You know what I'm saying? It didn't really come across. And so Becky just kind of seemed like a tryhard. So definitely glad that Rhea retained.
This could definitely be a hot take coming from somebody who's not as who hasn't been as invested in the WWE over the last 10 years or so.
Let me load you up. Let me give you a little reload shit.
No, dude.
Go ahead, bro.
But I think personally that Becky Lynch may have benefited from coming up in the low, in the really like bad era of WWE. You know, in that 2015, 26, you know, when she became a star at such a low point in the company, she may have benefited from that. Because now I'm seeing her go up against like people with aura, like Tiffany Stratton, even somebody new like that, Rhea Ripley. You know, and they seem to be getting more pops than Becky would. You know
even
what I'm
Nia
saying?
Jax, gets a lot of good pops, and she apparently she had a really bad run at first, and she's kind of
Yes,
really
she
honed
did. She
her
got
skills a
fired and
bit.
everything.
Yeah,
They
she's
said she used to hurt wrestlers. She had a really bad reputation in the locker room.
but
She's
been
related
doing
to The
well.
Rock, so yeah.
Yeah, that matters. Bloodline.
Yep. Keep going from there. Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. They had a glorified squash match. Really, I thought the match was okay, but once Jade got in the match, it was over. She basically dominated from then. And I'm excited to see what they do with Jade. They followed up her performance on SmackDown with another squash match with Chelsea Green. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Jade, because I understand because when they brought her in through the Royal Rumble, we thought, oh shit, we're going to get Jade and Bianca. But I also understand at the same time why they wouldn't do that at first. You don't want to take two black women, put them against each other right off the rip. Honestly, it kind of gives off a bad vibe, especially seeing how pro-black they are together and how much they really like.
Yeah, they seem to
how
really
empowering
like each other.
they and how much how much they really enjoy each other. I think it's better off like this. But now you run into this issue of who do you have for Jade outside of, you can't do Rhea Ripley right now. It's too soon. I don't want to see that right now.
Yeah.
You can maybe give her to Bayley, but Bayley just got the title, so I don't want to see Jade. I want to see Jade dominate still, which is why I personally think they need to bring back I think they need to bring in a mid-card title for the women, because we need something, some other gold for the women's division other than the tag titles, who it really doesn't look convincing on anybody else outside of the Kabuki Warriors. They tried to put it on Chelsea Green and somebody else. They tried to give it to these two, Kaden Carter and the other chick, and it didn't work for any of them. So they really need to bring some type of other title, the same way NXT is bringing in a women's North American title. WWE needs to follow in that same direction.
I think that's what they're gonna end up doing, because they haven't given the women enough to do. And there are way too many talented women in the sport right now.
And there's too many just coming and coming and coming.
Yeah, and they got some in the developmental that are working their ass off and are gonna need spots. So it honestly, it's a super cool time. And so I have a bit of a issue with the way they're playing Jade up right now, because I know she's strong. I know she's beautiful. Her body she has one of the craziest physiques that I've ever seen on anybody ever.
Yeah,
I recognize that, but her in-ring skills are very lacking. And I think part of the reason why you put her in a match with the Chelsea Green, part of the reason why you make all these matches squash matches, is because she probably can't sustain a match with a Liv Morgan or a Becky Lynch or definitely not Rhea. She can't see Bianca. She's gonna get hurt messing around with those girls. So they do need to. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Again, I'm a little bit older, so Goldberg. But there was another one, Taz. Remember when Taz first came from the ECW2? He won I think he was 20-0 before he lost the match, and all of the matches were under 2 minutes. Yeah. And it was because he was working out his conditioning and, kind of building up the stamina to do these longer matches. And they needed to keep that mystique up. They couldn't hide him that long. So I think that's what they're doing with Jade. But I have a bad feeling that people are going to turn on her if they don't actually see her.
If they don't see anything come from it, yeah. The same way they're doing with Mercedes Moné and AEW, they will do with Jade, which is unfortunate. Because both of those women are very, very, very talented.
They're very talented. It's just, you got to put in the work. And let's be honest, Jade has a very comfy kind of existence right now, right? I don't know if she's that driven to be one of the greatest pro wrestlers, especially for women, to ever live. And she definitely has that ability. And a lot of people that have that ability end up not working out because that pressure and that workload is just too great. You got girls like Bianca and Rhea who did not get that look, who really bust their ass to get to their spot. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Jade is still very young. She's 31, which is, in my opinion, that's kind of where most wrestlers kind of enter their prime. Mm-hmm. Rhea's definitely the exception. She's only 26, 27 years old. Yeah. So, But we'll see with Jade. This was only her first ever WrestleMania. She's still very new to the E in general. So I think she still has a very, very, very long future ahead of her. She's going to hold plenty of gold. And yeah, she's going to go. She's going to be up there one of these days.
They're going to give her the best chance she got to be great. So
we'll going off that match, speaking of Naomi, we're going to her husband, Jimmy, who went up against his twin Jay. And that match was underwhelming. They were just trading super kicks like they were playing tag or something.
It was probably the worst match of the night. It was probably the worst match of WrestleMania.
With the craziest build-up that's been going on for almost 8 months now. It's all like down the drain. Now Jay's going on. He's going to have his World Heavyweight match, and Jimmy's kind of stuck in idleness.
Nothing.
Like, you don't know what to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back down to NXT.
There's no Roman.
Just to get him some momentum.
There's no Rock. There's no,
unless him and Solo do something.
Just
maybe they go after the tag titles or something like that. That'd be all right. Solo has to redeem himself.
For sure.
But continuing from that, let's see what else do we have. Then we have the tag match, the super tag, Seth and Cody going up against Rock and Roman. Rock and Roman win, which means Bloodline Rules for night 2 when it's Roman and Cody. I think that was the best decision to make. It would have been boring as fuck if Cody won and he just got a clean match against Roman. Nobody wanted to see that shit.
Right.
Night 2 definitely trumped night 1 by far, starting from the top. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk put on a masterclass in long-term storytelling.
Yeah.
Drew ends up beating Seth Rollins. He gets caught up with CM Punk and taunting him. CM Punk attacks him. the bisexual Undertaker cashes in the Money in the Bank. So he hits Drew McIntyre with a South of Heaven. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Awesome cash in, awesome moment. I yelled, I popped, my arms were up in the air. It was amazing.
One thing again, as someone who's just coming back to the WWE, the fact that the entrances play on the ring and the post now is like, just, it adds so much more immersion. Like the whole ring turns the color of the whoever's coming out. So when CM Punk is beating the shit out of Drew, and then the whole ring just turned purple.
Yeah,
you just knew.
So fire.
You just knew the Judgment Day was coming down, and it's like, oh shit, Damien's gonna cash in on the Money in the Bank now.
Finally, after holding it for so long.
He had it since June of last year. That's way too long, but it was really dope.
Night. I'm sorry.
The way he's been kind of casted against, especially with the Judgment Day. He's in a crew with Rhea, but Rhea's the clear star, and they're all kind of just like jobbers for the most part. Even though they were tag champions, their faction is just kind of looked at. They're kind of goofy, you know what I mean? Yeah. So they definitely needed something to kind of make them more realistic as a threat. And Damien holding the championship is definitely the thing that they needed. So like, Judgment Day is back, believe it or not, which is kind of crazy. I thought they would break up.
Show. We'll see. Maybe everybody's predicting that Finn Balor might get all jealous of Damien and they'll split up like that. Him and JD might go separate themselves from them. But we'll see. I feel like Dom is the future of the company. He needs the Judgment Day really to keep on the momentum that he's on right now, because Dom is the hottest heel in all of wrestling right now for sure. Every match on night 2 was pretty much a banger, except for that Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits match. It wasn't really their fault either. Their opponents kind of sucked. AOP is really boring. Karrion Kross is cool, but AOP is just awful. Montez Ford showed out though. They got the W. That was cool as hell.
We had that was the match that Snoop was.
Snoop was on commentary for,
and Bubba Ray Dudley was the special guest referee. You get the pop with the with him putting on the glasses with the white tape around it, and he screams to the Street Profits, get the tables like he used to do to Devon. That was a cool moment. The first table broke. Really cool moment. Like, it was just one of those things like, these shits are flimsy as fuck. The first table broke, so like they had to go get another table. But just improvising stuff like that, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just not easy to do. It's not easy to improvise in the moment and like not break character, to keep everything convincing, and definitely not easy to do. Even in that ladder match where the ladder broke on them when Priest was trying to choke slam the Miz off the ladder and it broke on him. That was rough. But they carried on. The main event, Roman versus Cody, was everything we could have imagined. I love how they both came out one-on-one. Nobody came with them, in exception of the wise man, Paul Heyman, who we could talk about a little bit later because he did have an amazing weekend as well.
Shout out to him, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the match was perfect. Roman was talking his shit, and I think Roman is probably the best shit talker in all of wrestling when it comes to like his in-ring work.
In-ring? Oh, man.
He's so good.
Man, bro.
He's so good. Cody seemingly had him almost, and then Jimmy comes out of nowhere to super kick him. Jay comes out of nowhere, and he spears him off the ramp, and that was already better than the match that they had. Solo comes in, and he comes in on some bullshit, like calling the shots, telling Roman what to do, and Roman's like, "Oh, I'm coming, man." So I'm seeing something in Solo right now where he's like kind of fed up with what's going on.
He's pretty upset.
Yeah.
Pretty upset.
And then, John Cena for the save. Solo last beat John Cena a few months ago in Saudi Arabia, so Cena had to get his lick back, put him through a table. Then we finally get The Rock. If you smell, we finally get him to come out of here finally with his music, the final boss gimmick that he has going on and everything like that.
Perfect.
It was so good.
So incredible. Him
and Cena had a moment in the middle of the ring. They maybe teased that, maybe there's another future, because Cena said he wants to do one more run. So if him and The Rock come back at the same time, that'd be really cool to see them go at it again. But The Rock fucking eviscerated him in the ring. Just very quickly. He cleaned his ass up quick. And then what really got me to pop afterwards was Seth Rollins coming out with his Shield attire to the Shield music and the Shield anthem. I thought that motherfucker was about to come out with Dean Ambrose for a second. I was like, oh,
definitely.
I was going crazy. So that was really cool to see. But Roman speared that nigga right out the way super quick as well. And then The Rock started to get into position, whooped out the belt, and then it happened. Yeah, he was a lot of boy. Like he's really putting emphasis on that boy. And then T, hit the music for me, please. And then because it happened after that. The lights go off.
Turn y'all cameras off real quick.
Silence. The lights come back on, and there he is, the dead man, standing behind Rocky. The Rock turns around. Taker grabs him by his neck and gives him a choke slam straight to hell. The lights go off again, and he's gone.
And
into the night. Or at least through the crowd.
The funny part was The Rock was gone too.
Yeah, The Rock.
The Rock was gone too. It was so weird. Like, why did The Rock leave also?
But the Mama Rhodes belt was like standing up in the middle of the ring.
You know, they set it up.
It was dope. So the lights come back on. It's just Roman, Cody, and Seth in the ring. A lot of lore happens. If you know about Roman and the Shield and Seth and his history, Roman takes the chair, and instead of going after Cody, he goes after Seth for payback from all them years ago, giving Cody the opportunity to do the impossible. He finished his story. He dethroned the king. He pulled the chair from the head of the table, and he won the WWE Championship, doing what no other Rhodes has ever done before. Yeah. In my opinion, one of the greatest WrestleMania main events ever, and honestly will be talked about for years and years and years to come.
They went full Avengers Endgame, and it was really cinematic. We leading up to it, we've been in a group chat talking about how beautiful the shots have been going into WrestleMania, how these edits have been crazy. They did this really cool Meek Mill. Obviously, it was in Philly, so they wanted to do something Philly related. But they did a really, really dope Dreams and Nightmares edit with Cody, especially because he's the American Nightmare. His father, Dusty Rhodes, was the American Dream. So it was literally written. It was just one of those moments, and it was so cool that someone in that creative room. And shout out to Paul Levesque, shout out to Triple H for being the head of the table, because he's definitely letting the creators create, and it's really, really dope to see. Mm-hmm. But they got some niggas in there, clearly, because the sauce that is on some of these matches and the sauce that is in some of these storylines. I don't know who's again in charge.
They do have people. Somebody that used to work from Marvel is actually working with the WWE now. That I read on their creative team.
That makes sense. Some of those shots again. The Seth shot coming from SmackDown when he fought on SmackDown on Friday night. Then he fought in a tag team match on Saturday night, and then he fought for his belt, which he lost, on Sunday night. Like, Seth needs to fucking sit down. He needs
this is after he's gone through surgery for his knee.
Yeah, his knee
just a few months ago. Like he needs to sit the fuck down for a little bit. A lot of people need to sit the fuck down for a little bit. And I'm happy to see the draft is upcoming, coming up. So we will see people move. Ilya Dragunov is definitely going to make his way to Raw, and he's going to be a fucking stud on there. He already showed out against Shinsuke Nakamura. So I can't wait to see what the Braun Breaker is going to be a star on SmackDown. That's going to be fucking excited to see. Yeah. Man, wrestling is up, bro. Wrestling is so up. Shout out Paul Heyman. Had the best Hall of Fame speech ever. If you guys take your time to listen to it, go on Peacock or whatever, go watch it. He goes crazy. He tells the crowd to suck his dick. It was amazing.
Let me just see something real quick, because he said that like a Brooklyn nigga, and I just want to make sure.
He's from New York. I'm not sure where from exactly, but he's from New York.
Yeah, he's from New York City, born in 1965. He said, "If you don't like, suck my fucking dick," and he said that shit like he got off the L train. Like, it was dope, man. What, like, honestly, it's crazy because I saw a lot of people say, "Yo, man, I haven't watched wrestling in so long. This storyline is what brought me back, and now I'm fully invested." And I wonder, like, what was it? How did we all come back at the same time? I don't know if there was like a crazy marketing, but I just don't remember. But there's a reason why fans like me who were so invested back in the day, and I don't think it was just because of The Rock. I don't think it was just because of Jade Cargill. It had to be something.
It's been slowly building up, like getting better, and the stories have been getting better and better and better, and it's like the moves that they've been making publicly as well. Like a few months ago, we were all talking about the Vince McMahon thing, how he's going down, how this is going to affect the deal, and what does The Rock do? He comes in and he makes everybody forget about that shit. So as much as like I don't want to give Rock all the credit for making wrestling cool again, he did make wrestling cool again in that sense because he's The Rock and that's what he does. As much as people want to shit on him in Hollywood and the kind of the awful year or 2 years that he's been having over there with DC and his own personal projects and stuff like that, he has came back to he went back home to where it all started, so he can get his shit together and make sense of all this. And now he's gonna work on an A24 movie. See how that works?
Yeah, that's how it goes. And I think it is very interesting that, there was talk about how The Rock never plays a bad guy in Hollywood. And then he kind of comes and shows exactly the level of villain he can be in the home that he made, right? In the building that he built. So, again, it just too fucking cool, man. Too cool. So, WrestleMania was great. Favorite match is obviously Cody and Roman, best match of the weekend. But I really enjoyed the 6-pack tag match. It was really cool. The ladder match, I thought that was really cool. And honestly, Iyo Sky and Bayley, I thought their match was. Iyo Sky is incredible. I've literally started watching Japanese wrestling.
She used to do intergender matches. She has some of the most craziest she used to go at it with men. And that's when they were like, she was doing the Lucha Underground shit where like, they were fighting in the crowd, throwing each other through like rows of chairs and shit like that. Like she is the Empress of the Skies for a reason.
Those girls are super tough.
I think WWE waters down some of the talent that, when they get over there, how intense and how crazy they really can get.
Absolutely. If you really are into, like, if you just a violent ass nigga and you just wanted to see violent ass wrestling, you got to watch the Japanese stuff for sure.
Yeah, New Japan and Lucha Underground, definitely go watch those.
Stardom is dope too.